Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, on Patreon for extra support and any kind of updates and the such. Usually got put on Twitter X platform. And later today, I'll be able to publish a Midnight Suns episode. So keep your eyes for that. And I also have the demo stuff. Again, I will try during this week to record a couple more demos if I can manage that. And then I will eventually publish them and I will let you know. And as always, a quick reminder that I already have some completed gameplay series. The older ones are 1080p and the most recent ones are in 4K. And yeah, basically that's it in terms of channel updates. Let's go to the news. Monday, kind of slow day, but we got some interesting information from some stuff from the Game Award stuff. But first, some industry things. Again, seemingly, IGN parent company, again, Ziff Davis, I think it's like a guy or something like that, but he basically owns all of these sites here, or companies. Again, more layoffs coming. It seems that there was a decline of 10% since 2021 in terms of organic revenue. Again, as let's say legacy media in terms of gaming journalism uh, doesn't exist anymore in terms of journalism. We got ourselves a lot of activists in charge of this kind of trying to bring the news to the people instead of reporting facts and trying to keep it straightforward. They're trying to sell you narratives, trying to be cozy with the industry itself, being that of publishers and developers there, to try and have this revolving door of access media more than trying to report things as they are. But yeah, it seemingly we got also from IGN mainly because it's the bigger brand or the bigger company in this group that Kate Bailey, so she was IGN news director, went out the door. Again, I'm not clear if it was fired or she quit the job, but I'm assuming given that they are being disposed of. Some of them, there seems to be like a severance package that they are announcing there from Ziff Davis, which is basically a voluntary buyout program to employees who may be ready to move on, explore new options, just take a break. So just go away. You're not doing anything here. This program provides a payment equal to 4 to 6 months of your base salary based on tenure, plus for our US employees, continued medical benefits under Cobra, which I think it's something regarding like a program for health insurance. Yeah, they seems to be they are trying to clean house and trying to do their best to remove persons that are not contributing to the revenue of the company. Because everybody knows when you put activism, trying to make excuses for certain things, trying to, I don't know, influence narratives, and trying to be too much of a cozy on the industry itself, it creates a circle jerk of and an echo chamber that people just don't want to listen because again, to a certain degree it's kind of a propaganda style thing, and people are a little bit fed up. They see the writing on the wall, especially on last 2 years of upcoming games, um, and especially on the review side of things. Nobody trusts the reviews from these sites to a certain extent, especially from IGN and Kotaku and Rock Paper Shotgun. I don't know. I don't follow too much, but the people don't trust the review process from these people. Um, and they are slowly but surely turning to independent creators, to their review processes and scores to have a better idea what the game is about. But yeah, this is something that it's been changing from at least 5 to 10 years. And of course, in terms of the business side of things, it doesn't help the fact that recently this Ziff Davis acquired more companies that basically do the same thing. Even though they are different brands, it's kind of it's counter intuitive to acquire companies that do exactly the same thing and trying to disguise that as having a diverse opinion and diverse coverage of the gaming industry if you are all in the same under the same umbrella. The same thing we'll be seeing, for example, on the developer and publishing side of things, the acquisition of Microsoft. Again, all of these companies and developer studios are under the same ruling directive from Microsoft Games, which to a certain extent stifles a little bit the diversity of thought, diversity, the creativity of certain things, because when you're on a corporate structure, there are some directives that, especially on creative projects, they can really, really strangle the creative process of making a game in this case. And this also will influence on the gaming coverage side of things. I will assume eventually we will see at least a couple of these companies shut down. Again, they are still trying to salvage the business side of things by, I don't know, I think in some more less known sites, they might start to try and rely from AI written articles. We're seeing a lot of these sites popping up here and there, but I don't know. This will continue. The purge will continue. Again, at the end of the day, corporations and companies are made to at least make money. They are not made to lose money. And when they start filtering out elements that don't contribute to the revenue of the company, things might start changing a little bit, and hopefully we might see in the future some resurgence of an idea what journalism should be about, especially in the gaming industry. But yeah, this will continue. Again, same thing in the gaming industry on the developer side of things and the publishing side of things. We will continue to see this purge because at the end of the day, the companies need to make money. The employees don't pay themselves. So yeah, we will be seeing a lot of this happening in both sides of the fence. Then we got a little bit more information regarding Elden Ring Nightreign. I just covered the TGA stuff there very broadly. The trailers, I just watched them once to get an idea what they were at the time that I covered that big video that I did from the TGA. But in the meantime, we got some interviews. We know that it's not Miyazaki that is directing this game. Is from a developer that worked since Dark Souls 1, from level design to combat design on several games from software. And he had an idea and he pitched it to Miyazaki regarding what this game could be. And he got the green light, and we will have this game next year. At least that's the aiming for. And we also have, given that this is a co-op, let me see, co-op PvE, co-op multiplayer combat, which is something different that we've been seeing from software. Again, I like this because they are there is a plan from software. They're trying to shift to a certain extent to not be so dependent on Miyazaki on directing games, because then they get dependent on his creative process. And in terms of launching games, it will always be something like 5 to 6 years intervals between each launch game. And we're starting to see in this 2-3 years from now, after the launch of Elden Ring specifically, they grew up their studio a little bit more. They now are able to divide themselves in kind of smaller teams for development to try out different games. And I think experimentation is pretty good because it lets themselves open to experimentation and see what works for their games. And in this specific case from Nightreign, I find it interesting to go for a PvE. So it has some kind of elements from kind of games like Fortnite, which is the battle royale. Some elements, it's not battle royale system by itself or a battle royale game. It has the thing that the circle will shrink, so it try to leverage the direction where players should go, and I think mainly that's mechanic is to push players to the boss of that specific area. Then you can play one of the things that I like. People can play this game solo or a PvE with 3 players in total. We got a cycle of 3 days, 3 nights. So we got the day, during the day phase, you can get the exploration going and defeating mobs very quickly. It's very interesting that if you take it from the trailer, and then prepare yourself for the night boss, which is the night phase. It's for the boss, which things ramp up in the difficulty and the challenge there for the boss. And while this happening, there's going to be, of course, things closing and circle of radius of area of where you can go. So it directs yourself to the boss. Then the things start over on the second day, and on the final phase of the third day. So the third night, you defeat you fight against the final boss per se. There's supposedly, I think, 8 different bosses for that. There are 8 classes of players that you can choose. They are pre-made. Try to agilize there because this is not a RPG per se. So they are already made 8 classes of players. Each of them has their own background story. The lore itself is not going to be affected because this basically it's like a what if scenario, basically, to a certain extent, or an offshoot spin-off of Elden Ring. Uh, they take some basic lore stuff and story until basically the comparison that they made was imagine on the Shattering, the events of the Shattering, basically it splints off this reality there because there are Dark Souls and I think Bloodborne stuff there happening also, not sure. But yeah, it's very interesting how they're going about it. I like this. There's going to be already now a test on the network. You can register starting 10th of January. I will try and see if I can manage to enter this and probably stream. I don't know. It's and I don't know because afterwards it's going to happen on February. There is a lot of stuff happening on February, also in terms of gaming releases. So I'm not sure about that, but I will try my best here. But yeah, the you can register January 10th, and then you supposedly the test will occur in February. But yeah, I really like this. I don't see huge amounts of lore implications with Elden Ring already in terms of how it affects the main lore of the game. I think also the fact that they are trying to reuse the assets of especially on Elden Ring. I think it has to do with the stage itself of the game. So the maps size and everything is very conducive to this kind of game. And then again, we got some bosses from Dark Souls 3. We got the Nameless King there. Got a lot of bosses from there. We got some new bosses also, or at least probably some scrap bosses from other games. Again, and they are being tuned to be in line to have a free player session in mind. Even though if you play solo, the game is going to be ramped down a little bit in terms of the difficulty for just one player. But yeah, I really do like what they are trying to do here. It's not going to have any kind of microtransactions. I was almost forgetting about this. This is going to be a full-fledged release, so you pay. I think they are aiming for a kind of a shadow of their cheap pricing scheme, so around $30. You have access to the full game. Everything that is unlockable is through playing. There is no microtransactions whatsoever. Like for I don't know, for example, the skins and the cosmetic stuff. There's not anything regarding that, which is pretty good to see. I think what they're trying to do here is trying to explore better the co-op side of things and some systems in terms of the combat, because this one seems very more fast, similar to Sekiro. Seems like a mishmash of Sekiro and Bloodborne. It's more fast-paced. Got wall climbing there. Um, it's very interesting what they're trying to do here. But yeah, so far this is basically what we got from this Elden Ring Nightreign, which I really do appreciate and enjoy the fact that they are trying out new things. Again, this is an idea from a guy that works at least from the first Dark Souls, so it's been a while there, so he knows everything inside out. And it's got the blessing of Miyazaki, which is very important. So we know this is going to be something that they are going to take care of in terms of quality. My only concern nitpick is the engine itself. I think really some software they need to update the engine. Hopefully they could have a chance of updating for this game. I don't know, or maybe this game is one of the tests for them to, I don't know, test some stuff that they are bringing about on the engine itself. But yeah, I think the engine that they are using should be updated to leave it better performance, especially on the PC side of things. But yeah, other than that, I'm really expecting this to be a very good experience, a different experience from what we are used to see from software. Jesus Christ! But yeah, hopefully we will have a good old time playing this game. Then we got this reveal. I think this happened. I'm not. I think I already covered this or not. I'm not sure. That's why I'm bringing this again. I assume this came after the Game Awards, even though I'm not exactly sure. But we got the Blood of the Dawnwalker reveal. It's kind of a teaser, like 40-second teaser. This is part of the studio Rebel Wolves, which is a lot of ex-developers, especially from CD Projekt Red, that work on the Witcher's games. Some of them on Cyberpunk also. A lot of it's a good mishmash of people that work on CD Projekt Red and other Polish studios. There was a tease of an image to set the mood. Very interesting what they're going about here, and the focus of this game, which is the Blood of Dawnwalker, is kind of the beginning of a saga that they are aiming for. It's a RPG, open world dark fantasy action RPG with a strong focus on story and narrative. Very in line with kind of how The Witcher plays out. And these guys seem to be in line to, I don't know, maybe having a good game in their hands. I think they are still hiring also because the team itself is not huge, but it seems that they are already prepared to at least announce the official announcement of this game itself. It's going to happen on January 3rd. I think it's the Wolf Moon, so maintaining the theme here. Since I watched the formation of the studio, I've been covering here and there some tidbits of information, and it's going to be published by Bandai Namco, which is interesting by itself. They've been hitting the nail in the head in a lot of launches in terms of publishing. Hopefully, this also will going to be an excellent game. We will have to wait until January the 13th. We got around a month or so until this happens. I will try to keep my eyes on this and bring you any kind of updates regarding the reveal event here. Then I forgot to mention one of the things of the Game Awards. The Shadow of the Colossus co-director Fumito Ueda. It was a teaser. It doesn't show you a lot, even though it seems to have a lot of mishmash of stuff of games that they work on. I think they are trying to create kind of connected universe also to a certain extent. I remember playing Eco when it was launched on PlayStation 2. I think it was PlayStation 2. I replayed that game like 3 or 4 times. A very excellent level design, the story, how it's told through action and not through dialogue. I think the game itself only have like a handful of dialogue lines, but I really enjoyed Eco. I didn't play the last game that they. I didn't play Shadow of Colossus yet because it's basically a console exclusive, and there was the other game that the Last Guardian. I also didn't play that one. Unfortunately, console exclusive at the time, if not mistaken. But this one got me curious here. It has like Shadow of Colossus, kind of a boss feel. This guy, it seems like a mecha kind of a thing here, and your protagonist sees like this wave of whatever it is of destruction, and this guy basically tried to climb to this overing. This is kind of a thing that detaches from the main body and tries to avoid that disaster there. Basically, that's it. It's very weird, but again, Fumito Ueda always has a very peculiar way of, in terms of direction, how it goes to approach stuff on these games, which is very interesting. But yeah, I will leave it here. Got the announcement trailer. I think this, given that it's from Epic Games Publishing, I'm not sure how it's going to go regarding PC release. Epic tends to be very um, um, I don't know. They don't like to. They are all about exclusivity. I don't like this, especially on the PC platform. I consider PC has a platform, and I don't think Epic Games doing these exclusivity deals that they do. It doesn't do any good for the games that they publish. Got, for example, Alan Wake 2. It still didn't recoup the money since its launch, because I think one of the main reasons, even though the game might have its faults or whatever, is the fact that it's only available through Epic Game Store. The same thing from other games. And if like these smaller games, if they are exclusive to Epic Games, I'm not sure how well they are going to sell there. But yeah, then we got more stuff coming out from The Witcher 4. Um, Again, I watched the trailer. My nitpick at the time, I didn't at first. I didn't even notice this supposedly is Siri. I only managed to identify her as Siri because of the scar that she has. It's the only thing that let me know that she indeed is Siri. And I noticed, because I just watched the trailer once, was the fact that when you are a Witcher, the preparation is key, and she basically just didn't prepare herself to entering in the combat there. The potion that she drank in the middle of the combat, the cat's eye potion, it's something that she should have done, if anything, before the combat. And of course, the potions, Witcher potions, are themselves poisonous to the system. And we got more info regarding that. Basically, how she's witchering at this moment. She's basically a full-fledged witcher according to the lore-breaking rules from the books. But yeah, first some news here. Again, I don't like the messaging. They are aiming for new players. We want to aim for new players, the wider audience, and also the people that know the franchise but who maybe do not play our games. Again, the base player base that already has played and loved the Witcher franchise are your best marketing team for any kind of Witcher games that you might have. That's why you sold a lot of games, because the feedback and everybody letting know that this is a game that you should try it, including me. I love The Witcher 3. I play all three Witcher games. First and the second are pretty good in terms of story wise, but again, gameplay mechanics a little bit outdated, and as such, Witcher 2, kind of the same thing. Very good in terms of story, the continuation, and ramping up for the Witcher 3 story. But yeah, those the already ingrained fan base that you already have for these free games are your best marketing team that you have. So, and you should maintain the or try to cater to that already built based audience, instead of trying to deviate and trying to allure the modern audience or the new players. I think it's a new message that we're going to see a lot. Instead of modern audiences, new players. But yeah, the game director, again, this is a little bit corporate talk. We create story-driven games, so we want to make sure people that buy games for story, they'll be able to experience the story in their own way, and they will be simply able to approach it. Again, I don't know if they are aiming to be something on the guides of Assassin's Creed Shadows canon mode stuff. There, just you don't have to do anything. You're just going to play the game here and there, and then the main decisions are made for you. I don't know. And then it continues with people that are looking for specific challenge. They will also be able to experience the story in a challenging way. Again, trying to hint here that there's going to be probably more like narrative driven experience, and then you can have a more challenging combat. I don't know what they're trying to do here. Supposedly he's saying that they are going to put player agency at the center. Okay, we want to let players trying to define her. Again, talking about Ciri. Then again, I don't like this. She's about to form her own codex on her own terms. The way she actually deals with the monsters, the way she deals with quests, the adventures, is her own unique way. Again, if she is a unique character, and you're saying that you want players to define her, but she supposedly on the story side, she's going to do the decisions for the player. That's why there is kind of a mixed messages here. At least that's my interpretation of things. But then they talk about here very broadly. I believe the gameplay, again, speaking on Cyberpunk, was more varied than in Witcher 3. Yeah, because Witcher 3 is a more medieval style of combat, so swords and spells. They don't have gameplay, gun gameplay, so it's a little bit more varied. And it allowed more freedom when it comes creating character builds and being able to experience encounters in your own way. Again, The Witcher is more narratively driven than Cyberpunk. That's my perception. So it's expected that certain things are constrained by the fact that um, Geralt is a Witcher, so you cannot free to say you're not free in the sense that you say that Geralt is a wizard or it's an archer or something like that. No, Geralt is a Witcher, and the Witcher by definition has a very strict rule in playing in that world. So of course it's going to be less. You have to have less freedom per se than Cyberpunk, which is an RPG in the sense that you create your own character, you can build your character the way you want. So that's why I see a lot of contradictions here on what they're trying to achieve. That's why I'm a little bit worried and a little bit with a foot in the back when are receiving information from CD Projekt, especially after the launch of Cyberpunk and all the people that left there. But yeah, we continue here, and there has been more interviews here and there. Now they are trying to say that Ciri did break lore, or their excuse is it didn't break any lore by the fact that she is basically a full-fledged Witcher, which basically she went through the trial of grasses. The fact, other thing that people are complaining about is the fact that she is the main character. I don't have any complaints regarding the fact that Ciri is the new main protagonist. Again, it to a certain extent in the bigger picture of the Witcher lore and world, Ciri is like the self. It's the prophecy incarnated because she is basically the chosen one. Let's say on the world itself, and Geralt was basically more a father figure, and we see a lot from the Witcher books. Everything is from the point of view of Geralt. That's why he feels like the main character in a certain way. But Ciri being the main character of this new trilogy, it's not off-putting for me. Uh, it's a little bit off-putting. The character design is not like doesn't have basically any resemble from City. Again, it might take a couple of years or at least a few years in the future. But okay, I'm I can be forgiving about that. The character design itself, it's more about what the character is. In this case, what Siri is, if it basically it is or is not in conjunction with what is already established by her, being in the books or even in the games themselves. Um, and there is some discussion that the fact that she is the main character breaks canon again. Um, the different endings from The Witcher 3, there is one that supposedly, at least it's interpreted that she dies by stopping the White Frost. That there is an ending that she can I think she stops the White Frost, but she dies doing that, supposedly. Again, I don't think it breaks lore because then you got 16 different endings or variations of three endings. You got 16 variations between them. So you can interpret it as not breaking canon. It's not something that bothers me. It's more about what she is as a character itself than what happens on Witcher 3. You can kind of not bend the rules, but you can interpret that she survives independent of the ending of The Witcher 3. I think makes kind of a sense there. Um, yeah, there are hints in the ending that highlight the fact that she probably does not die. Again, even if she dies, it's not. I don't think it's a justification there. I think that there is no problem. Even if she dies in any kind of ending, I don't see any issues. The fact that she's going to be the main character for The Witcher 4, basically, that's my point there. In terms of lore breaking stuff, I think I think this is more worrying here, the way they are trying to make the character. Um, because on the books, Ciri does not partake in the trial of grasses and undergo the mutation to become a witcher. And the reason that one of the reasons that there are no female witchers is because 100% of the uh, females they die on the trial of grasses, because the trial of grasses to a certain extent is like an experimentation, or it doesn't have like a straightforward path to go through the trial of grasses, but basically it's altering genetically the insides and through alchemical processes and all that jazz, the subject of the trial of grasses. And even male persons or kids, because this is done on children, even the boys, it has like a rate of failure around, I think, between 70 to 90% of them die in the trial of grasses. So it's a very um, uh, kind of rate of failure too high, even for male boys to go undergo these trial grasses. And again, none of the boys never wanted to become a witcher. It's kind of basically forced upon them. And I think the trial grasses is more about to demonstrate the 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 the, the decision that is made for somebody to undergo these kind of things to eliminate a threat, which is the monster threat that happened after the conjunction of the spheres. The solution that they reach here is trying to create a monster to kill the monsters, and that's why the trial of grasses is it's something that has a rate of failure this high, and it has an 100% failure on females, because if not mistaken, it has to do with the fact that, again, female chromosomes XX and the males is XY. That's why when it offers any kind of rate of success is on males, because of that, because it's genetic mutations, and I think that's the chromosomes there have some kind of implication regarding the rate of failure there. At least that's my perception. Again, I never read the books, but from everything that I heard and saw, it seems that it's one of the things. So instead of going all these things, she instead is taken to the temple of Melitile, where she receives magical instructions from Neneke and Yennefer. Because on the books, I think she can become like a witcher. In this case, witcher in the sense that she will go through the path of the witcher in the sense that she's hunting monsters. But what she has is like magical training, most of all. because only Witchers can do the magic signs. Not even Yennefer's and Triss can do the same kind of magic that the Witchers do with it, like the five signs. And it's something very specific because of the genetic mutations they go through the trial of grasses. But yeah, I think this rewriting of the lore, I think they will try to just to basically do a Mary Sue kind of a turn of events here because she is the chosen one. She has elder how it is elder health blood or she something like that. She can endure the trial of grasses because she has magic blood basically, and she can be extra good even though their own her own abilities are way more powerful than the Witcher. So I don't know why is that, and the fact that the trial of grasses for the subjects that undergo that thing, they become sterile, so they can never have any kids of any sort. So you got also that. I don't know why she would want something like this, and the fact that, of course, I forgot to mention that all the characters around Ciri, from Geralt to Vesemir to Yennefer, Triss, everybody around her, um, even though she was young, she did the combat training for the Witcher. Nobody wanted her to even to become a Witcher per se, uh, which but can be justified through storytelling of something that might happen to Geralt or something that she wants to try out for a couple of things, and then she embarks on a journey that I don't know will leave her in that path there. But yeah, this change that they're trying to go, that she is a full-fledged witcher that undergone the trial of grasses, is really something that it's impossible to happen. But yeah, I think they will try to justify it with elder blood, elf blood magic, or something like that. I don't know. It's very weird. Um, but yeah, supposedly it's something that it's going to be explained on this on the story of The Witcher 4. Um, but yeah, I don't like this. I don't like this. I think this is trying to. There is no need to pull a Mary Sue out of it because Siri as a character is already flawed enough to have some kind of progression on the character on the story side of things, and she's already very powerful on, especially on the combat side of things. She has a very even in the younger when she was on Witcher 3, she's already have. She has already formed herself as a person per se in terms of values and everything that could be explored in a Witcher game. I don't see the need of going through this thing of breaking lore that is already well established. I think in The Witcher 3 that there are reference to it, that there is some PTSD from Geralt and the other Witchers from the School of the Wolf when he visits the catacombs where the trial of grass experiments are done. Geralt goes there. It's very disturbing for him, remembering all the friends that he lost, and even the transformation that he had to undergo there. Yeah, that there is some resentment on Geralt's side, the fact that he had to go through all of that. But yeah, I don't like this try to justify her being a witcher. To be a witcher, you need to pass to the trial of grasses because, again, um, she's the only female to go and succeed in that trial of grass. Again, it's one of those things that I don't like what I'm seeing there. But so far, we'll have to wait for more information, see how it goes. If there, I don't know, there is more clarification, or we had it all wrong on what is being said here. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm putting my expectations very low for this game so far. And then lastly, we got here Neil Druckmann, the simp of Anita Sarkeesian, went about and did an interview. I don't know where, New York Times, as Who figured that basically the intergalactic, the erratic profit, basically the overall theme is about what happens when you put your faith in different institutions. I don't know what that means. It doesn't mean anything. It depends on what side of aspect of your faith in different institutions. But whatever, this guy is, I think, is a little bit of pretentious simp here. But yeah, and basically the story supposedly is quite ambitious. What happens when you put faith in different institutions? Basically, the setup of the story is Jordan A. Munn, which is this lovely character here, which uses the hair clipper that she uses to buzz. So I think she's using it wrong. I never used that in that way, so I will assume she's using the right way, and I, in my entire life, never use an hair clipper like that. But okay, whatever. It's a futuristic thing for sure. Basically, I will assume that she, because he is a dangerous bounty hunter who ends up stranded on Semperia, a distant planet whose communication with the outside universe went dark hundreds of years ago. And supposedly, in fact, anyone flown to that Semperia thingy, um, hoping that to unravel its mysterious past, was never heard from him again. Turner will have to use all her skills. Okay, at least it's identifying as a female, and it switches if she hopes to be the first person in over 600 years to leave its orbit. And suppose she, from the trailer tease, she's accepting the job to go there, and then she's a brave woman that is going to finally break 600 years of mystery about Semperia. I think that's what it is. And then he promised that the game lives up to Naughty Dog tradition of creating an emotional, character-driven epic journey like Abby, I will assume. Our narrative goals are rivaled only by our gameplay ambitions. I don't know, in terms of gameplay ambitions, it's very bare bones, even on The Last of Us, even though they are very well put out story wise on the first game. Again, they are not revolutionary in any way. This will be our deepest gameplay in Naughty Dog history, taking our learnings from previous franchises and pushing them beyond anything we ever done before. That's not saying that much, but whatever. Um, and there is also about the fact when they cast her, she has this intimidating presence to her. We brought her for an audition and she blew us away. It was one of those moments like when I first saw Ashley Johnson as Ellie. Yeah, this intimidating look, a brat look that only intimidates simps. But yeah, I didn't like the fact that we have marketing all over the place from Porsche, Adidas, Sony. Sony I can understand because it's first party studio, basically Naughty Dog from Sony, so I can understand to a certain point. But yeah, he said it as some of the inspirations were Akira and a Cowboy Bebop. Again, Cowboy Bebop is a rectangle of people going about in mischievous endeavors here. I don't see any. She's like the. I think she incorporates the Cowboy Bebop in terms of every character is melded in just one person. Um, but yeah, and Akira, maybe the jacket is the only inspiration here. Red jacket. The rest, I don't see any more kind of influence. But yeah, I don't think this is going to be also a good game. But we're going to wrap up here with some good stuff here in terms of deals. We got Nino Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch remastered, 85% off. Then we got the sequel, 84% off. Also, got also the Princess Edition. I'm not sure what it has included there. Then we got Resident Evil franchises on sale. I will leave all the Resident Evil games on the description so you can pick and choose and complete your collection. We got Atomic Heart still 60-ish percent off, 65% off on all editions. We got No Man's Sky 60% off. We got Planet of Lana 50% off. Got Cyberpunk. I think the way to go is the Ultimate Edition. It's got the Phantom Liberty here, 48% off. Then we got Death Stranding. The way to go is the director's cut here. We got also Liza P, 40% off. We got Pacific Drive, also 40% off. And finally, we got The Invincible, 35% off. And yeah, they are pretty good games, almost all of them. At least that's the reviews and the feedback that people are having on these games. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up here with a plug on my Patreon for access support. The access support is more aligned for me to try and get a better storage solution so I can have backups of the stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. So till then, Kunamy Master out.